Mario Kart 8, the game that never dies. They released Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, me and like 5 other people buy it. They released DLC for it, me and like 4 other people buy it. They released Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch, me and everyone on the planet buy it. They released DLC for that, and I actually don't buy it because you can play all of those tracks randomly for free online, and my rent just went up. Today we're checking out the fanfare-ish music that plays when you finish a race in Mario Kart 8. There's certain music for first place, certain music for second to sixth place, and certain music for total losers. Of course, I'm a winner, so I've only ever heard the first place music, so I listened to the other 2 tracks for the sake of this video. Anyway, while the first place music definitely sounds the most triumphant, the other 2 tracks don't sound very defeatist. Almost like a, you'll get them next time, buddy. And I'm gonna tell you why.
A common debate in the music theory fandom is about if major intervals and chords are inherently happy, and if minor intervals and chords are inherently sad. Everything has to do with context, culture, lyrical content, harmonies that come before and after, but to put it simply, if Mario Kart were a mean game, I really think major chords would mean yay, you won, and minor chords would mean boo, you're ugly. Minor intervals just don't reach as high, and therefore timbrably bright, as major intervals, and so our monkey brains often associate them with sad stuff. Here's some research on it. Go read, you nerds. Let's start from first place and work on down, since first place is the easiest to dissect. Looking at the first bar here, our harmony goes from A flat major to G flat major. I'd say we're living in the key of A flat major, but we're borrowing a flat 7 from the key of A flat minor, which is a common thing. I think this makes everything more triumphant. Like we won, who wants to hear a minor or diminished chord here? Our melody starts on E flat, the 5th of our A flat major chord, then jumps up to the 1st of the G flat chord, G flat. In the next bar, the 1st of A flat goes to the 3rd of G flat. I see this as strengthening the feel of the tonic chord. Not only is the harmony A flat, but the melody is using A flat. Now once we hit the B flat, the harmony around it gets rid of the G flat. So it's almost like the music is saying, we're not going to use any chord but the one chord because we came in first place, one chord, first place, first one, yay. And indeed, we never waver from the one chord again, except really quickly right here where we move all of our notes a half step, and then right back to the A flat chord. Those half steps really set up that triumphal feel of the final one chord, like one last explosion. Now let's visit the losers in second to sixth place.
If you ain't first, you're last.
This music is also in A flat major, but the melody starts out with a minor 3rd, from C to E flat. Without the A flat sounding below it, you might think you're in the key of C minor, since C and E flat are the root and 3rd of a C minor chord. But those A flats are here to anchor you in the feeling of, hey, you ain't first, but you ain't last. Contrary to Ricky Bobby's thoughts.
You can be second, you can be 3rd, 4th, hell, you can be 5th. What are you talking about? I lived my whole life based on that.
Let's quickly talk about scale degrees. In any scale, you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Those are your scale degrees, and in A flat major, they line up like this. You also technically have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and so on, but they're just the same things as the notes you already have, just moved by octave. I give you that short, not-so-great lesson because once we hit E flat, we only descend. We jump up an octave here, so yes, we're technically going up, but in terms of scale degrees, we're only really descending, since this 8th scale degree is the same thing as the first one. Put it this way, once we get to E flat, we're only going down in our musical alphabet. This is notable because we actually only ascend from E flat in the first place melody, and only descend from E flat in this one. The music ends with a flat 7 like we had in the first place music, going down to an A flat chord. So instead of this awesome triumphant half-step motion we had in the first place music's ending, we get an almost as good but not quite whole step motion to end this music. Ah, the bottom of the DK barrel. 7th to 12th place. This one is in the relative minor of A flat major, F minor, meaning it uses the same notes as A flat major, but has a minor tonality, starting on F. We're using all of the notes of A flat major and F minor, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, well, a really quick G flat too, but that doesn't really count because it's so fast. You start with this melody that's all over the place. quickly up and quickly right back down. The rhythm is also kinda all over the place, stumbling and bumbling around. Notated this way, it's 16th notes, 8th notes, dotted 8th notes. It just kinda resembles a race where you're in 1st, then you get blue shelled over to 8th, then you stumble back up to 4th, then fall off the track and come in 12th. That kinda all over the place messy feeling. But then it settles a little bit. The melody wavers in 8th notes between A flat and B flat before everything finally settles on an F major chord, which swaps out the A flat for regular old A natural. This is called a Picardy third, ending a minor mode piece using a major tonic chord instead of a minor one. So the music tells you done goofed, but ends on a happy note, no pun intended, like, hey, hit that A button and try again. So whether you're an absolute winner Chad like me or a little baby who should go play Slime Speedway instead, Mario Kart has your back through its music.
At the time of this recording, there's no news on a new console Mario Kart game. My conspiracy theory is they released Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Deluxe. All of the Switch content, which is all of the Wii U content plus its DLC, plus its DLC, plus more DLC. If I'm right, you owe me $10.